Came to the Christmas party. We had a really good time. You guys that couldn't make it, I'm sorry, but it was like, I think if everybody had gone, it would probably been too crowded anyway. We'd probably have to find a new place because it's getting pretty tight in there. But yeah, we really, enjoyed doing that and having a good time with each other and hanging out and everybody getting to know each other better. I know sometimes, we got a lot of people here, and so it's hard to kind of connect with everybody on a personal level, but you guys do a good job in y'all's little groups of it. But yeah, I wanted to talk about something today about the finest hour, because we've been kind of doing quotes, and this is actually a pretty old quote. It's about luck. You may have heard it before. It says, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." So luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And I've experienced this a lot in my life where everybody goes, "Man, I just got unlucky," or "Man, things aren't going right." Like it's what I think what we do at Baker Brothers here is we realize things are wrong before they get really bad wrong. So I always tell everybody, they go, "Well, man, what do you do when you run Baker Brothers? What is it? There's a bunch going on and all this." And I go, "Yeah, but part of what it is I hit the panic button really fast. Like I'm looking for just this one little thing to go tick and then go, okay, hey, we got to do this." Where I drive them crazy. They're like, "Man, nothing's really that wrong." I go, "No, seriously, this is bad." It's like, so the pot starts to boil and it boils over and starts going everywhere. It's like before that happens, I've got to catch it and I've got to figure out how to fix it and I got to figure out how to avoid it, right? But there's another quote that kind of talks about, and it says, "Planned or be planned for." So it means you either plan and you do things ahead of time to get good and successful, or they're reacting to what happened. Like you're in a bad situation and now you're reacting to the situation. So I've told you guys before, hey, my daughter's doing that boutique and all that stuff. So she's learning about business the hard way by taking a bunch of licks. I mean, she's getting hit in the face every day somehow or another. And it's like, how many times can you get hit in the face and figure out how not to get hit in the face so much? So she's telling about all the stuff that's going wrong and, hey man, this and this and this and payroll and blah, 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 blah. And I said, yeah, there was this guy that was really smart that told you 2 weeks ago to do these things. And you didn't want to listen to Dad 2 weeks ago. We all don't want to listen to Dad, but then all of a sudden now you're sitting in the firefight and it's like, dude, back here, this is when you fix that. So when you're having bad stuff, we all can get on a bad job that does stuff that we can't foresee. But if you kind of have all the tools you're supposed to have, right? If you don't have if you're trying to take off a handle that's from 1955 and you don't have a handle puller, man, you're in for a treat. When you left it on the job before, that's what we always did. You went around the house, you're working all around the house, and you left some tool in the garage or something where the homeowner doesn't even notice it. You go to the next job, and now you don't have a T-handle to turn off the water, and what are you doing? You're out there, of course you get the one that's all crooked, cockeyed, you're over there trying to use your 4-in-1 and a pair of, channel locks or something like that. You're going, it takes you 45 minutes to turn the water off. When it only would take you 5. This is the same thing I'm talking about. You don't have the stuff and the tools you need, because I don't care how good a plumber you are. I don't care if you've been doing it for 30 years. If you go to that friend of yours house and they go, "Hey man, you mind looking at this for me?" And you go over there and go, "Oh yeah," and you see, "Oh dude, that's a really easy fix. I just got to tighten that up." You go, "Hey, you got any channel locks or any pliers?" And they come out with a little pair of pliers that big that can't even get around like a 1/2-inch nut. You're like, dude, that's like taking a knife to a gunfight. You're going to lose, And so the idea is the preparation of having your truck and having all the stuff on your truck and the tools on your truck. And if you leave tools behind, maybe I get 2, whatever, that helps in that situation that you're in that's not good. Because it pisses you off when you leave your T-handle or whatever, the helper took it off and you don't have it anymore, and now you're over there trying to freaking take a screwdriver and bend it sideways just to open the freaking box, so you can pick the lock. That stuff that happens, it didn't just happen to you. Prior to that is when it happened to you. It was just going to happen, no matter what. Once you left that tool, no matter what, you're going to need it on the next job. And that's the type of stuff that we have to kind of like realize when we're in that heat of battle, like we're in the bad time, we have to go, what did we do? So if you want to figure out how to get in less of those, you have to, when you're in it, realize that it's kind of your fault. That's the best thing about what a lot of the leadership here at Baker Brothers does, and what I constantly remind guys that are in leadership here about is when they say, like Bubba was like, man, people aren't coming to our meetings, man. He's upset about it because Bubba put a lot of preparation into what I'm doing right now, and he would be mad about it. And I would go, well, man, we need to get the guys in there, like we need to talk to the manager and tell you guys y'all have to come. And I go, hey Bubba, what if we did meetings maybe a little different? Or maybe, is it our fault that the meetings aren't good? I mean, if the meetings are really awesome, wouldn't everybody just come to them anyway without me having to tell you to come? You should be like, man, I don't want to miss the meeting because, man, it was so much fun and I really enjoyed it. Instead of going, oh, God, I got to get up early and go to the damn meeting. You know, Jimmie, blah, 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 he's going to get up there and talk. That's the type of thing. So there's a point that we have to go, hey, it's our responsibility, like, that this, what's happening is happening. There's not enough guys in the meeting. That's on us. We got to do a better job. We got to bring you better content. We got to not talk so long. Whatever it is, we got to do better. And so that's kind of what I do to everybody when they go, oh man, this happened to me, and you know, I'm just sitting here being a victim. That's what it's called, is like being a victim. I was talking to my buddy last night, and he was talking about some stuff, and I said, man, that's just, you got to get out of that victim mentality, and you got to start going, hey, I'm in control of this to a degree. And so when I get lucky, it was because I prepared and there was an opportunity and I took advantage of an opportunity. That's what they're saying. Hey, it just doesn't, hey, I flipped a coin and somebody gave me $1 million today. That's lucky. It's you usually get a great job because you've done good things before and you've done well before, and then you get a good job. It's not by just luck or happenstance or the draw something. And you can sometimes you go, I got an easy job, man. This job was a really lucrative, good job, and man, it was really easy. It went really well because you had the right tools, because you knew what to do, because of all the things that happened prior to. See, people are not paying for you guys' time. That's a misnomer. We do pay you hourly, but they're not paying for your time. They're really paying for your knowledge, and they're paying for your history, your 20 years of history. They're paying for that. Because I've yet to see a guy that's been doing it 20 years and a guy that's done it 2 years. The 20-year guy doesn't do it in about half the time as the 2-year guy. You know? And we all get old and stuff, so I'm maybe not talking about digging a 100-foot trench by hand, but other stuff. The knowledge that the guys have in 10 to 20 years way outweighs the other guys. And the only way for you to be a 2-year plumber to even get close to that is for you to be looking in and reading and wanting to know everything about plumbing is the only chance you have to make up that ground. But if you prepare your truck and know where your stuff is, you know, I had a guy one time, his truck was all a mess, and we go and inventory his truck, and I think he had either damaged or was missing about $3,800 worth of stuff. The thing was, most of it was damaged, messed up stuff in a box, crushed, because he had thrown all kinds of stuff on it. And he was actually kind of upset about it. He's like, man, I can't believe it's that much money. I go, I know, it just happens, like you steal some parts out of this faucet, you know, and then you leave it in there and it never gets put in, and you never put the part back. You know, it's all that stuff. And he was like, man, I said, you know, if it only took you 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, to when you're going back, and I know it's late on Friday, I've been there, maybe you're throwing all the crap in there, but Monday morning you come a little early, you go ahead and clean all that up because you know you did that. It's just that little stuff, putting stuff back in the same place, because my dad had the worst truck you've ever seen in the history of your life. He had a cargo van, and he had no shelves in it. Not one shelf was in the van. So it was crap about that high, just crap. And when I was a kid working with my dad, and he was a yeller cusser, and he would go, hey, go get me my channel locks. Well, I'm out. I mean, it's like, hey, go find a needle in a haystack. And so I'm a kid looking around, and I'm like, good God, you know, I'm just trying to, like, where's Waldo in there, and throwing stuff around, trying to find it. 15 minutes later, all of a sudden, here I'm getting MF'd and everything else, and I hear him coming, he's yelling, and what the hell, and I'm like, oh God, and I'm trying to look faster, and I can't find it. And he would reach down into the thing about that deep, and he'd go, they're right here. And I'm like, oh my God. So even as a child, you know, like a 5th grader, realizing that, hey, I don't like getting cussed by Dad, and I don't like that whole scenario, I start taking his stuff and going and putting it in a bucket and go, okay, I'm going to put all the stuff that's a solder stuff in this bucket. And I'm going to go put all this stuff in this bucket, and I'm going to put these pair of channel locks that he uses every freaking time he gets out. I'm going to put them right here. I'll put his crescent wrench here. And there were areas in the pile of crap that I would put the stuff so I knew where it was. And then basically what Dad would do then was like, why you got stuff in these buckets, and why is this? And I go, hey, it's okay, Dad, I just put some stuff, you know, whatever. Well, then he goes, hey, Jimmy, go get the stuff, and then I come right back. And he's like, man, you're really getting good at this. I know, I just moved the stuff around your truck. So see, I didn't sit there and go, man, Dad's going to yell at me and slap me in the back of the head every time I go ask for something to do. I go, hey, I don't like that. So what do? You take control of the situation and you change the situation so that you can win. You don't just sit there and keep going, well, man, woe is me. I had a guy come up to me, doesn't work for me anymore. He goes, man, you know, they're not giving me any gas jobs. I don't know why they're not giving me gas jobs. So I go as manager. I said, hey, are you not giving me gas jobs? I mean, this guy's a pretty good plumber. And he goes, Jimmy, it's winter and the gas was shut off 6 times in a row. He was 0 for 6. I go, that is not, you got unlucky, you're not getting gas jobs. That is you at 0 for 6. And if you had any realization that you sucked at selling and closing a gas job, you should be in there going, hey, manager, I'm not having very much luck closing these. Can you help me and tell me what I'm doing wrong? These people don't have heat and their gas is shut off and it's cold and I'm not able to sell a gas job. So as soon as you stop being a victim and saying that it's everybody else's fault of the stuff that happens to you, and you take responsibility because it probably wasn't something you did today. Like if I'm fat, it's not because I ate a big meal yesterday. It's because the last 6 months I've been eating pizza and hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff. And a lot of them. And that's what leads. It's like Zig Ziglar said that. He said, I never accidentally ate anything. Talking about people that couldn't control their weight. He was always a skinny guy, but he goes, you know what, guys? I never accidentally ate anything. And so what he's saying is like, that's exactly right. Like you have to start, you take control of it by going, I don't like this situation I'm in, whatever it is. And then you have to ask yourself the question, what do I need to do? What can I change to make it where I don't get yelled at? I don't have that situation like when I was a kid. Hey, how do I make that not happen anymore? That's the key. To take ownership and responsibility. There's an old saying, because when you're blaming, if I blame Chuck and I'm pointing at Chuck and go, man, Chuck did this to me, it's all Chuck's fault. There are 3 fingers pointing right back at me when I point. And if you'll take that on, and the one thing about it is, it's not to say, you know, you're whining or hey, you're blaming other people. It's very natural for us to not want it to be our fault. But the minute you go, you know what, wait a second, can I do anything about this? Am I really a victim? Am I really just, there's nothing I can possibly do? You know, I'm just broke as hell. I can't, you know, make my bills and all this other stuff. You go, have you looked to see what you're spending your money on? Have you looked at the bank statement? Have you checked to see, hey, is there any place you can cut some stuff out? You know, that's doing something about the situation that you don't like, you know, that maybe you don't want to do. So it's like, hey, make sure that you guys, I mean, do what I do. I don't like getting in stuff. Man, I don't like getting in bad situations. And I will do anything not to be in them. I was a kid that if I got spanked one time for something, I wasn't doing that ever again, or I wasn't going to get caught doing it ever again. I'm not saying I was a great kid. But by gosh, I was going to plan out the next one, and no one was catching me do that again. And that's what I'm saying. So be smart, man. Don't be the other kid who got beat like every week because it was like I go, what's wrong with you? You just keep doing stuff wrong. Why would you even get caught doing it? I mean, get smarter or something. But guys, be smart, man. You know, get in situations that you're in and control it. Because, man, it's very empowering when you feel control. When you go, hey, you know what? This just shouldn't happen to me. I could have done this back over here. And go do that back over there. And then when the next time you're like, dude, look, this is easy. Because it sure is easy when you have the T-handle with a little key on it versus the other one. I mean, I hated that. I hated when we left something at the other place. And I'm sitting there going, what? Okay, I guess let's bend my screwdriver so I can figure out how to open this freaking keyhole. And let's see if I can, figure out, hold my mouth just right to get this water off. So make sure that you guys do that and take responsibility and put a plan in action that helps you. And sometimes it's just as simple as like, man, clean your truck off and knowing where the stuff is in your truck. I watched see stuff on Home Depot, and it was funny, most of the stuff that guys bought on Home Depot was in their truck stock. And when we go stock someone's truck that was way off, say they were way high on material, what we do is we go and, it wasn't like somebody stealing or something. What it was somebody buying, it was funny, this one guy, right when they started putting the nipples fixed in the water heaters, and they're already in there, he still was buying 5, male adapters, and he'd only use one, and then he put the other 4 in, and then we got another water heater, he bought 5. He had 2 full boxes like they have on the shelf at Moore's Supply. Moore's Supply National. Sorry, James. 2 of them in his truck that he bought in 6 months. And so he had 2 years worth. And that's what I was trying to say is man, it's just clean your truck off. Man, get the right tools. I know some of you guys, dude, I've had guys that used to, when I was, on trucks, I was back there, this guy, Jeff Chapman, he had literally a 4-in-1 and a pair of pliers, and that was all the tools he had, and shovels. That's it. I was like, how do you even do this stuff, man? Get the right tools, get ready, make sure that if you're getting in bad situations at home, life, whatever, man, go, what can I do to get out of those situations? I leave all the time, we're hanging out with our buddies and stuff, and we'll be having some cocktails or something. I go, guys, I gotta go. And they go, why you gotta go? I go, because I like the other half of my stuff. Because I don't want my wife to divorce me, and I don't want to walk in and get beaten, cussed at again, like when I was a kid. So hey, y'all have a great rest of the week. I know it's a little slow this week. We're doing what we can. We're doing a bunch of advertising and stuff, so we'll see what happens. But if I don't see you guys, have a happy holiday, and keep your chins up, man. Thanks, guys.